Maruti Suzuki's People Technology presents Suzuki Connect with Navigate to Car and many other features.
Watch more, feel more. Dell.
A week has gone by, a week of nervous energy if you're an Indian fan, a week of possible anxiety if you're an India fan, and a week in which Pakistan have brushed aside India, New Zealand, and Afghanistan to take one out of those two spots in Group 2 for the semi-finals. So both Kane Williamson and Virat Kohli know what is at stake as they play just their second game of this ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2021. The two teams shall descend in Dubai in just under half an hour from now for what is the most important game of Group 2, you think, if both India and New Zealand are to be serious contenders and hold matters in their own hands in the race for that second playoff spot. This is Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout, powered by Dell. It's expected to be a full house, or at least as many as are allowed in Dubai. It's a full house here this evening on my show as well, all in black and ready. Are Tom Moody, Ajit Agarkar, and Gautam Gambhir. What is that? Why are there New Zealand colours being waved on this show so proudly? I don't get it. I'm wearing Aussie colours. That means very little. But my God,
it's a dark blue, Ronak. It's a dark blue.
I see. You know, I am aging. I am aging. Same with you, Gautam?
Yeah.
I'm black, but I'm very close to New Zealand. As in geographically, I'm quite close to New Zealand.
Geographically has nothing to do with who you support in the World Cup sometimes. Our part of the world knows better than anybody. But anyway, it is such a big game. What has this week possibly done, Gautam, for India? A week where they've had 6-7 days to possibly, wait and think about that defeat against Pakistan? Or do you think that was done the minute the game was over?
For me, it's difficult. Actually, it all depends on individuals as well. I think for some individual, if they don't have the best of games, they want the other one to come really quickly. But for some, they just need probably more time. For me, if you ask me personally, I would have definitely liked to have another game very close so that I can get that off my system as well. Because till the time you keep waiting for the next game, it keeps haunting you. The previous game keeps haunting you. It's easier said than done that you can forget as soon as it finishes. It doesn't happen that way.
Well, nobody would have thought whether India would win or lose. Nobody would know that for sure, Ajit. But if you do lose, you have a week to sit back and watch the dynamic of the group play out in front of you. Does that just add to India's anxiety today?
Possibly. I mean, I'm with Gautam on that. It's an individual thing. Some people might just be relaxed for those 6 days. I wouldn't be. I would want to play as quickly as I could. Week sitting around, gym sessions, training, meetings. It probably adds to all that. You'd rather be on the park and trying to compete in that next game as quickly as possible. But it is what it is. You know the schedule beforehand. Guys have had lots of cricket coming into the World Cup as well. So maybe a chance to rest some tired bodies, mind perhaps, and be fresh for this contest, because this is a big one. I mean, India win this and they'll suddenly start being a lot better than they are at this point.
Would you want to play a team that you've not had the best record in ICC events in recent times? Then we'll come to that in a moment. Before that, a massive toss, you think, Tom Moody, has gone down in Dubai, which has gone Kane Williamson's way. Unsurprisingly, he bowls first. How does that impact this game?
Well, we've seen there was no dew in the last outing in Dubai, so that's an unpredictable thing that at the toss no one knows. But it's certainly, you'd rather have it fall in your favour than against, because we do know that dew, if it does fall, there is an advantage to that team that's batting second. The ball skids on a little bit more onto the bat. For the fielders, it's a little bit harder to hold on to the ball, and certainly from a bowling perspective, it nullifies spin to a certain extent. And for the quicks, it's harder to really nail those Yorkers and those slow balls.
Now, if you are picking up on what the build-up in this game is on India and New Zealand, you don't need reminding, but have a look at their record in ICC events, because this is a team that has India's number. You look at them in, of course, the 2019 ODI World Cup semi-final, famously at Manchester, when New Zealand nicked that by 18. We go earlier than that, and you'll see the T20 World Cup 2 wins to New Zealand, including in the inaugural edition where Gautam Gambhir featured in that team. So too did Ajit Agarkar, and they went on to be champions. 2021 is the World Test Championship final. You have to go all the way back to South Africa 2003 for India's last win against New Zealand at an ICC event. Now, I was listening to Ajit in the preview to this game, Gautam, say New Zealand are just a good team in ICC events. But does anything else explain why they have India's number in particular in these tournaments?
And they're just very structured, to be honest. They play really good cricket. They don't make too many mistakes as well. And for me, I think records do not matter. I think, yes, if you ask the current generation of the players, I don't think so. They would be thinking on that front that, oh, we've not won a game against New Zealand since last so many years and stuff. It's a new game, it's a new format. Yes, we got beaten by them in the inaugural T20 World Cup as well, even in India as well, the T20 World Cup that happened, but it stands for nothing because different conditions, different dimensions, different squads, different players. So for me, I think it's all about probably executing your plans and playing 40 overs of good cricket. That is all that's going to be in the mind of most of those players.
Tom, we look at Kohli versus Williamson in this format, and in white ball cricket, you can see Kohli has the better numbers. Do they at all come into account the fact that these ICC events, this is one team you've not gotten over the line against? Does that sit at all in current day players' minds?
I don't think so. I think the focus becomes, very narrow when it comes to big matches like this, or when it comes to semi-finals and finals. And this is as big as that for both these teams. You don't tend to look at what's happened in the past or what your opposite number has done or hasn't done. It's not relevant. It's the next ball that's relevant that you're facing or you're bowling. And, the very best players manage to compartmentalise that very, very well and make sure they take full advantage of that next ball that's coming away.
All right. Well, gentlemen, get ready. We're going to spend a fair amount of time on team selection because Virat Kohli has given us quite a bit to go by. Surya Kumar Yadav has back spasm. He is out. Ishan Kishan is in. Virat Kohli adds at the toss that Ishan will open. Shardul Thakur comes in. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar goes out. Ajit Agarkar, let's go into those two changes. Big changes after one game.
Yeah, I mean, in a week of no cricket, Surya's managed to pull his back, unfortunately for him. It's it's a real shame because, I mean, he's such a versatile player. Uh, the only thing for India is a positive is Ishan Kishan comes in with some sort of runs. Did you say he's going to open the innings?
That's right. Virat Kohli has said that at the toss that Ishan will open. What does that do to KL
Yeah,
Rahul?
quite unbelievable for me, really. I mean, after one game, you basically, so it looks like KL Rahul's likely to drop down, is it? Because I can't see how Rohit Sharma is going to bat in the middle. I don't think it's a great move at all. I mean, Ishan Kishan may well go on and get 100 for all you know. But KL Rahul, if he bats at the top and gets in, uh, can get 100 on his own, and he's been in terrific form. So if that is the case, I don't think it's a great move.
Okay, I'm just exactly picking his words now. And he says Ishan will bat at the top of the order now. I'm assuming that gives us the indication. Whether that changes, I don't know, but we'll find out in less than 20 minutes. If that is the case, Gautam, what do you make of it?
Look, I don't think so. That's the right move. If Ishan has to bat, then he can't open the batting because KL Rahul has been in unbelievable form, even in the warm-ups, even in the last game which we played against CSK. Plus, I think if something, KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma to open, Ishan Kishan to bat at number 3 and Virat Kohli to bat at number 4. That would be my batting order. I would not put Ishan at the top of the order. Probably the best number he can bat at is at number 3.
Tom, do you have a different view?
Yeah, look, I agree. I don't think you can move either Rohit Sharma or KL Rahul. They're been very much a strong feature there. And as soon as you start disturbing the batting order, it does throw the confidence around the team and the uncertainty of what role clarity is about. Ishan Kishan also has batted in the middle order successfully for Mumbai Indians. So it's not like he's unfamiliar batting in the middle. I don't think him coming into the side is a massive loss to India. I think he's in good form. Obviously, Surya Kumar Yadav is a terrific player, but I think they're replacing him with an informed, very good player as well.
Okay, I'm going to come back to this perhaps when we see the two openers walk out, just to confirm that that's where India are going. But I'll stick with you, Tom. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, you showed a lot of confidence in him. He wasn't at his best in that last game. Kohli seems to have decided to go the other way. Shardul Thakur comes in. Thoughts?
Yeah, look, I'm a little bit disappointed in the sense that I always find it difficult to make a selection change on the back of one performance. Yes, you can include the IPL and maybe his, modest return in the IPL, but that was some time ago. I would be banking the experience of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar if I was looking to select that side and at least giving him another chance. We've also seen the ball swing in the World Cup where we didn't see it swing in the IPL. I'd give Bhuvaneshwar Kumar the chance to swing that new ball for a couple of overs and see if he can do the damage that he's historically done.
Ajit, you in the preview to this game said yes, you would go Shardul over Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. You welcome this move?
Yeah, I think it's just to do with the form. I mean, nothing what Bhuvaneshwar Kumar's skill sets are. It's unfortunate the sort of form or lack of form. You feel at the moment that he doesn't. He's not at his best. And India has got two options in Shami and Bumrah. Both can bowl with the new ball, and Varun Chakravarti is in the squad who can bowl with the new ball as well. So it's not as if. And like Tom said, the ball has been swinging, and in spite of that, I know it's one game and sometimes it just feels harsh. Uh, but India don't have too much time, so they've got to get their 11 right. Shardul Thakur perhaps gives them a little bit more in the middle of the innings, a bit more pace, and towards the end of the innings, I'm guessing with all reports that we have that we might see a six bowler or at least an over or two
Yes.
in Hardik Pandya, which
Yes.
India might need now. Now that they're defending with perhaps a little bit of dew around. But with regards to Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, I think it's the right call, even though it's just after one game.
All right. If you look at how Shardul Thakur's gone in T20 as in recent times, well, the stats make a case for him because he is India's leading wicket taker since 2020 in international cricket. Of course, they pick in the squads change around depending on where you're going and timing of the year, like we saw in Sri Lanka. But 23 wickets, we know he's got wicket taking ability. Gautam, add to the fact that he can bat. He seems to be ideal for a T20 side. So why not India?
I don't think so. I think if Hardik was fit to bowl even 2 overs, I would have gone with either Ashwin or Rahul Chahar, because you can still open the bowling with Varun Chakravarti, and then you'll have two proper spinners bowling in the middle overs as well. And if Hardik Pandya can give you 2 overs, that's enough, because that's enough for fast bowling. You've got 8 overs of Bumrah, Shami, and then 2 overs of Hardik 10, and then you get quality spin of 10 overs. So I wouldn't have gone with Shah, to be honest. If Hardik was fit to bowl even 2 overs, I would have gone with the leg spinner.
Would you not have been worried about dew, Gautam, which times does come in when you're bowling second in
You
Dubai?
can't. You got to just control the controllables. That is something which is not under your control. And if you see traditionally as well, the leg spinners against New Zealand, especially against the middle order, which you mean Lee Sherman, Tom Siffer, Tim Sifford, and Glenn Phillips, you need a wrist spinner who can get you wickets in the middle overs as well. And you've got the luxury actually to open the bowling with Varun Chakravarti as well. So if you can actually start with Varun Chakravarti, who's again a mystery spinner, so you get another wrist spinner, which is a wicket taking option. And I would rather have a wicket taking option rather than someone who can actually probably bowl in the middle overs at 130, 135.
All right, changes for New Zealand as well. Peculiar New Zealand when we saw in the last game against Pakistan. They made changes that we weren't expecting. Adam Milne wasn't available for selection at that point. That Lockie Ferguson injury hadn't been ratified yet by the ICC. Now he is, and he walks straight into this team. It's not for a bowler though, Tom. He replaces Tim Seifert, who goes out, and Kane Williamson confirms that Devon Conway will take the gloves. So that's a change in the makeup of the side. An extra bowling option in Adam Milne. Thoughts?
Yeah, very interesting. That's blindsided us, hasn't it? I suppose they've also got the option of using Phillips as a keeper. He keeps as well.
Yes.
You know, clearly, I'm an Adam Milne fan, so I think he's a positive addition to their side. He's a genuine wicket taker. He's one of these quicks that can get speed up to close to 150. And we've seen what genuine pace has done, not only in this World Cup, but just over the last 12 months or 18 months in T20 cricket. To have that extra bit of pace in your armoury is an asset. So it's a bit of a win. To me, they probably look a slightly stronger side with Milne in there, giving them that strength. And they'll need it against a very strong Indian batting lineup.
Gautam, you were wondering whether Kyle Jamieson could find room in this team. There was also a call possibly of bringing in Milne for an outright seamer like Tim Southee, who doesn't always make T20 11s, but they've gone differently. What do you make of their selection?
Well, probably they must have seen something in the previous game, England versus Australia. There was something for the new ball bowlers and the fast bowlers as well. So that could be one reason why they've gone with Adam Milne. And because there was something of the wicket as well, and they know that India's strength lies in the top order. So if they can actually knock one or two in the first 6 overs, they push India probably on the back foot, and that's a very positive move as well. They've actually strengthened their bowling as compared to their batting as well. They're now a batter short, which is again, which sometimes you want to take those gambles as well. And on the other side, India's gone with more of a insurance kind of a policy where you've got Shardul Thakur who bowls 130, 35 and can chip in with a bit of a batting as well. So I believe that yes, New Zealand has taken a positive decision. Let's see how it works.
At 134 for 8 in that last game against Pakistan, you think the batting let them down, Ajit, and they've gone a batter short now. Is that a wise move?
But what they're banking on is trying to get early wickets for India, or try and dent India. So they want a full attack. They don't want sort of half and half bowler and batsman, too many all rounders. So that looks a formidable attack. I always like the option of having six bowlers in the team, even though India, I mean, we don't quite know Hardik Pandya's status, but then otherwise it makes India five bowler attack. But I like this with Jimmy Neesham as the six bowler. So three proper quicks. We saw certainly there was a little bit more help in that Dubai pitch last night, particularly when England bowled. And if they can get a few early wickets, that that India, that means India will end up a few short. So there's less pressure on their batting. So it's a good move. I think if your top five or six are not going to do the job for you, to expect it from a seven or a eight, it might happen on an odd occasion, but you don't want that to happen that regularly. Or five or six have to get the job done.
Yeah, to be fair, you have Mitchell Santner batting 7 in that team and Tim Southee 8. That's not bad. It's enough batting in a T20 team, you think. But would it be fair to say, Tom, what we saw from New Zealand last game was surprising, unlike them in ICC events with Darren Mitchell at top, Neesham at 4, Devin Conway at 5. Was that just for that matchup against Pakistan? Will they restore to normalcy, or does that look like a pre-tournament plan now for you?
Look, again, you'd like to think it was designed for a matchup against Pakistan and the conditions that they were playing in. To me, it didn't make sense, or it certainly wouldn't make sense if they come out with that same batting order in this particular contest. I personally would like to see Conway at the top of the order with Guptill, Williamson at 3, and then their middle order sitting underneath that. To me, that would make sense. It gives them a good left-hand, right-hand combination. Conway's more of an accumulator, a bit like a Kane Williamson. Having him at 4, I think, he's out of position there. But at the top of the order to complement Guptill, who's a power player, is to me makes sense. And then you got Kane Williamson, who we all know what he's capable of doing, to complement what follows him in that middle order.
All right. Trent Bolt will have new ball in hand, not the Trent Bolt that we've come to know during the IPL. This is a different tournament. I wonder if Shaheen Afridi to Rohit Sharma last game, Gautam, rekindled that debate of left arm seam against Rohit Sharma, or left arm swing rather against Rohit Sharma. I look at Bolt's record against his Mumbai Indians captain, and it's a pretty good one in T20 cricket rather. He's dismissed him 3 times in 7 innings, so he'll take that. Not a lot of runs from Rohit against him. Did he just get a good one last game, Gautam, from Shaheen Afridi, or is this going to be a key matchup in this game?
Look, there is a trouble there. You can say, yeah, it was a good one, it was good delivery, but then a quality of Rohit Sharma should be able to tackle that delivery when you know that a left arm is pulling with the new ball. He's probably going to look to shape the ball back in, so you should be prepared for that. And Trent will look to do exactly the same as well. Yes, there is a trouble. We've seen it in the past as well. Mohammad Amir getting Rohit Sharma probably in the Asia Cup, if I'm not mistaken, and then a couple of other games as well, Champions Trophy final as well. So yes,
Yes.
that shows that there is some weakness against the left arm seamer, but I'm sure Rohit Sharma would be thinking about Trent Bolt probably again getting to bring the ball back in. So it's about only 2 or 3 overs, because it's not going to swing for too long. It's not 50 over where there are two new balls from both the ends. So you just have to probably survive first couple of overs and still be look to be positive rather than just thinking to survive, because the moment you start thinking to survive, I think you're in trouble. So still look to score runs and be in the best positions. That is all Rohit Sharma would look to do.
I wonder where you think Ajit Rohit Sharma is in terms of his game at the moment. He's no spring chicken. He's likely to take over Virat Kohli's job at the end of this World Cup. That's not been confirmed officially. He doesn't have those big 500, 600, 700 run IPL seasons, though he remains an invaluable player. Excellent test series, you think, in England. Where's his T20 game at the moment for you?
Tough question to answer, really. I don't think he's in good form. I think he's even in that warm up game that he got scored runs against Australia. He took his time. It was a warm up, so you could afford to do that. He's a class player though, so he needs to get through that first.
I'll just come back to Ajit Agarkar, I think, shortly. I'll put the same question to Tom Moody. We've until that last game against Sunrisers, in fact, when they had to have that ridiculous comparison or equation, Tom, we weren't seeing the best of Rohit Sharma in the second leg of the IPL. Where do you think his game is?
Yeah, look, it's interesting. What we've seen is his Test cricket, go through the roof, and he's performed well both home and away in the Test arena. But we've seen the consequence in T20 cricket's, slightly slide away. And I just wonder whether it's because of the performances of a lot of the other younger players around him are putting that additional pressure on him. We've seen KL Rahul play exceptionally well. Ishan Kishan come into the side. Surya Kumar Yadav also come into the side, and all play with great freedom and fluency. And that in itself can put a pressure on you as a player, sort of trying to find that type of tempo and that type of rhythm in your game when it's not there.
Ajit, you're back with us. If you'd like to extend on your point, yeah.
No, don't quite know. He's not clearly in great form, but it only takes a few balls or one innings to change that around. And for India's sake, he'll have to play well. I mean, he's an experienced batter. India sort of depends so heavily on those top three because of their experience. We don't know which top three there are today, but if it's Virat, Rohit, and KL Rahul, so he's got to find a way. And if he survives that, the problem I think has been that he's not gone on. The couple of starts that he's got for Mumbai Indians time, he's somehow hasn't really kicked on after the power play or so. Has a good start in the power play and has got stuck a little bit. So he's going to have to find a way to try and accelerate after that. But we know what Rohit Sharma can do. So hopefully he can get through that first couple of overs and we see a lot more fluency from him.
Yes, Gautam.
Look, I think you asked a very valid question that sometimes when you're actually in and out of the test squad and you're so desperate to probably be in that test squad, and suddenly you start figuring it out that what is going to make you successful in the test format, your mindset changes as well. And to the best, it has happened once you start cementing your place in the test squad. Suddenly, your T20 freedom just goes away. When you're only playing white ball cricket, suddenly there's freedom in your mind, there's freedom in your shots as well, and that is exactly what we've seen of Rohit Sharma as well. Even if he's got runs, he hasn't got at the same pace what he used to get when he was actually not part of the test squad, because at that time he knew that he was only playing white ball cricket. Suddenly, when you want to establish yourself in red ball cricket, a lot of things changes. Your technique changes, your mindset changes, and it's not easy to actually change your mindset so quickly straight away after coming from England and then into the IPL and then the T20 World Cup. It's easier said than done.
All right. Now, then I'm going to spend 3 or 4 minutes as the anthems take place as we speak on a conversation that could very well be moot by the end of it, because I'm going to assume Ishan Kishan is going to open. So I'm going to ask Tom, Gautam, and Ajit to tell me now how that affects entry points, shall we, more than batting positions for the rest of this order. Would KL Rahul come in at 4 and try and control a middle order? Virat Kohli, you think, surely can't bat lower than 3 in a T20 side batting first, Tom?
Yeah, look, I would have thought Kohli remains at 3 if Ishan Kishan does open, and KL Rahul is the one that sacrificed down the order. We've seen that happen to KL Rahul before. He sort of, batted at 5, 4, sometimes at 3, and also open. So he seems to be the movable piece in that top order.
He's been given that role in ODI cricket, Gautam. Would it be a calamitous mistake for India to try that now? Would it not be such a bad option?
See, if Ishan Kishan opens, I'm not going to agree with that, to be honest. It has to be Rahul and Rohit, Ishan at 3, Virat at 4. If anything, if Ishan and Rohit opens, KL at 3, Virat at 4.
All right, KL at 3, Virat at 4. Does that not quite sit down well though, Ajit? Virat Kohli at 4 in a T20 lineup.
No, but you got to look at the form. You
Yeah.
got to look at
Yeah.
you got to look at
Yeah.
KL Rahul's form as well. Why would you want to push him at number 4? If anything, if you still want to open with Ishan Kishan, which you've already made up your mind, then I'm not going to push KL Rahul anything lower than number 3.
Okay, Ajit.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't push KL Rahul at number 3 either. For me, he's got to open. Then suddenly Virat Kohli is out of position. If he has to bat number 4, we might not see him bat in the innings. There's Hardik Pandya and Rishabh Pant at that stage of the inning, perhaps walk out ahead of him. I don't see a problem in Ishan Kishan batting at number 4. I don't understand this need to open with him. Maybe because he bats with a little bit more freedom. I can't quite understand. We'll have to wait and see if he does open. But if he, I mean, I hope for India's sake that KL Rahul, you want your, I think KL Rahul at this point, form wise, is India's best batsman in that lineup. And you've got to give him the best possible chance where he's at his best, and that's when he opens. So to move him from there, calamitous, I don't know, because Ishan Kishan is a talented player as well. But why would
Yes.
you want KL Rahul to bat lesser balls than he actually would end up batting if when he's opening?
All right, I'm still going to try and find reasons as to why India have gone this way. Again, I can't wait to get a glimpse of who comes out to open. Otherwise, the last few minutes I've just wasted of Tom Gautam and Ajit. But that can be said about any of the time they've spoken to me, so it doesn't really make much of a difference. We spoke through the IPL, funny enough, Tom, that for Punjab Kings maybe to solve some of their issues, Rahul could have batted in the middle because the middle order was an issue. Does this middle order ooze of a lot of confidence to you with Hardik a bit out of form and you're not quite sure what you're going to get from Pant every now and then, and therefore would it be one of the things that they've considered? Maybe Rahul can come in and give us some impetus in the middle, even though that's not his T20 place.
Well, to me, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul in that situation. KL Rahul is, and I agree with everyone that he is the best T20 player and has the current form. And the key position is the opening position. So to try to solve a problem that you may feel you have in the middle order by taking it from the top, to me, it just doesn't make sense, because the top, to me, is the most important place to, hold the integrity of that order. It also, if you're making these changes on the back of one game, it creates a lot of uncertainty around the players, around the team. And that role clarity that have all gone into this tournament thinking, well, I know that this is my role, this is where I'm batting, this is where I'm feeling comfortable. And then suddenly after one game and 7 days off, it's all changed. To me, they've obviously, we'll find out, but they've obviously done too much
All
thinking
right,
and not try to keep
all
it
right.
simple.
Let's get into it. I can see Kishan and Rahul walk out. I do not see Rohit Sharma. Boom! Let's spend a few more minutes now. Make sense of that, boys. Gautam Gambhir.
Yeah, it does. If Ishan Kishan had to open, then KL Rahul will have to open. And now we got to wait and watch whether Rohit Sharma will bat at number 4 or number 3. Because again, I think with the current form, I don't know. I probably again now we'll go with the Virat Kohli at 3 and Rohit Sharma at 4. And again, whether he can take on the spinners in the middle overs after the 6 overs, he hasn't done that for such a long time. Does he have the same game to do it from the start? You have to wait and watch. Plus, it's a positive move. Again, I think if they had to go with Ishan Kishan and KL Rahul, probably it's again a positive move. They're looking to take the advantage of first 6 overs. We'll have to wait and watch.
Ajit Agarkar. Rohit Sharma at 3, 4, 5, 6. What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, if these two get going, they might not need to do too much. Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. That's the way India might be looking at it. But Virat and Rohit at 3 and 4, if they have to, start going from ball one, like Gautam said, can they do that? Or perhaps then they push uh, Hardik Pandya and Rishabh Pant up front. Yeah, it's a bit strange for me. I don't get it. To drop either of them down the order after one game. It may work for India because of the way Ishan Kishan bats, but I don't think it's a great move either way. I think, my opinion, Rohit and KL Rahul should have walked out to open.
I read a lot of the numbers on India's perceived lack of power against spin, Tom, and how maybe they needed Ishan Kishan to take on spin, have that big hitting in the middle. Rohit Sharma's decent player is spin. There's a left arm threat of Trent Bolt at the top. What T20 data has gone into making sense of this decision for you, if at all?
It doesn't. It doesn't at all. I'll preface that at the beginning. The only thing I'm trying to think is, as I'm hearing everyone talk about their reasoning, is that has India felt that they needed the left-right hand combination up front to just create some issues to the balance of what New Zealand may throw them with a new ball. I don't see there's any real standout there. I would have, if anything, thought the opposite. When Santner bowls, it's normally in the middle of the innings, along with Sodhi. So I would have thought having an extra left-hander in the middle order would have been a bonus, because both those spinners are turning the ball into the bat, and it's a lot harder for them generally to bowl against those left-handers.
Okay, good luck. It's all up to you. Virat Kohli had said after the England series, he and Rohit Sharma will open. After the IPL, it was Rohit and Rahul. After one game in the World Cups, it's Ishan, Kishan, and Rahul. So this is fun, isn't it? At least gives us plenty to talk about. Give me a score, Tom Moody. I don't think we're going to see 3-0 like we did last time against Pakistan. What's the score India going to get?
I'm going to say 163.
Wow, that's as specific as it comes in a day where everything has surprised me. Ajit Agarkar, you got the first game dead on, but that's because Afghanistan got the round figure of 160. Now, what are you getting today?
168.
168. I have no idea if these are winning scores or not, so I don't know where you guys stand today. Gautam Gambhir.
160.
160. Gee, no one's going for the big 200. I'll go for the big 200. Come on, let's see India put in the performance that people have expected out of them. Thank you very much, Tom, Ajit, Gautam, on Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout powered by Dell. This has been a pre-show. Follow suit too. Join us at halftime.
Maruti Suzuki's People Technology presents Suzuki Connect with Navigate to Car and many other features.
Watch more, feel more, Dell.